Okay, so it seems like there's been some pretty huge updates to the whole Novel Horizon situation. The one with the VTuber kind of merch slash figure company, which has gone bankrupt after obviously Amalee revealed this, and then they made their own statement talking about it, saying that they were going bankrupt and that they weren't, well, that they were going to try and send out the orders that they had, or at least try to get them to the creators. But it seems like a lot of people's orders are going to go missing. They're not going to get their, money back or anything like that, which many VTuber fans are not happy about at all, right? And there's been so many more VTubers coming out with their own stories, with their own kind of responses, because they've worked with so many VTubers, right? That's the whole thing with Novel Horizons. They've been very, very popular in the VTuber space. That, essentially all of the big VTubers that have been hit by this. Obviously, bar a couple, of course. Obviously, they didn't work with everybody, but I'd say a lot of the big VTubers have, and there's been more responses. And so, starting off with Fruit, of course, she says, I've waited and waited almost 2 years for updates. I was holding out for hope that my fans were going to be able to receive what they were paid for. I'm devastated. I don't even know if any of the figures were created, which obviously is very, very sad. And obviously, Camila says, I'm sorry there. Talking about Camila, of course, she also has, talked about it, saying, I've been biting my tongue because the team at Novel Horizons has been nothing but sweethearts as people. But yeah, in terms of their work, it was done very unprofessionally. My fans ordered figurines from 2023 and they didn't receive them until 2025, 2 whole years later. And obviously, yeah, this was over 3 years ago. So they already had issues, I guess, over 3 years ago. And apparently, my Discord was and when they finally started rolling out, my Discord was flooded with photos of the figurines being broken or unpainted in certain areas. With all the money my fans spent on it, it makes me really very sad that they had to wait all that time to receive faulty products. So yeah, you can see here, you can see that's unpainted, or at least it looks like the paint has been like chipped off. And again, it just looks like pretty poor quality, right? Which again is very, very sad, because of course everybody would love to have a perfect VTuber figure, right? So I wish I could make it up to the Sims, but that were affected somehow. Please tell me how Imp can make this better for you. I finally got the statue in February this year. It was, as you mentioned, unpainted in spots and broken. Was able to fix it with a bunch of hobby supplies from assembling and painting Warhammer. Thanks for speaking up and sharing. And she says, this year, I'm so sorry. So again, it seems like a lot of people have been waiting a very long time. But there is a couple of good news things I just kind of want to throw in there before we go into more VTubers that have been affected by it. Hyte and also Mako here, who is obviously they manage it seems like Michi and Fruit, or no, they previously managed, I don't know. Anyways, they essentially say the fact that there's an update on it. Some of the former staff have gone out of their way to actually get the affected creator 3D files. So if you don't know, obviously they not mock these up, they make these in like 3D modeling things, so you can essentially print them or at least use it as a design reference for whenever you're actually producing them, which again could be pretty good for the VTubers, right? Because it means that they have the designs and then they can make those figures themselves, and maybe that could be a way to make it up to the fans that maybe have been affected by this, trying to sort out producing their own figures using these 3D files. And of course, this might be made easier through Hyte. Hyte, if you don't know, make from what I've known them as, they make PC cases. I've got one. I literally right here. I obviously can't tell my camera, but they've got like a little screen on it. It's really, really cool. Anyways, they say, we're deeply saddened by the news around Novel Horizons and the impact that it's having on so many creators and fans in the VTuber community. Say, Hyte has always believed in this space. Many of you know our history and collaborations and how much we value creativity and passion that lives here. We're not here to make any empty promises. We're here to help where we can realistically can. Right now, that starts with discovery. We're opening a channel to better understand where any figurines or merchandise sit in the production process, what assets exist, and what the actual scope of support might look like. To the talents, whether you currently have access to your 3D files or sculpts or not, we're open to talking. If there's a path to get your merch back on track after proper cost analysis and feasibility, we want to explore it with you. No guarantees, just a genuine willingness to look at the numbers and see what's possible for our manufacturing capabilities. If you have any information that we can help move things forward to a broader community, we'd appreciate you sharing it. Obviously, they put a little bit of a form there, and again, that's great from Hyte. You know, it means that obviously they're looking to potentially produce these things for them, because it can be very hard for a VTuber even if they did get the 3D model files to actually create anything, because obviously you would need to find a company that would be willing to do it and produce it and ship it, and sometimes it's too much of a hassle for just one VTuber to kind of sort out. But it seems like Hyte here have been saying like, hey, we can help out with the production and things like that. You know, obviously we'll have a chat about whether it's actually possible and whatever, and then if it is, then potentially we could see them release some of the you know, merch and things like that, which is good. People said Hyte, thank you Hyte for always coming clutch for our community. So yeah, obviously a lot of people very, very happy about that, right? Now, of course, there's been other people talking about it though, including Grimmie, who of course knew about this slightly earlier, I would say, than some of the other VTubers from the situation. Of course, she had that whole thing with her coin, which never ended up, you know, which apparently had some issues or whatever. And yeah, apparently this happened before this had all happened. This other stuff has all happened, right? Saying Novel Horizons put out their statement, but I want to apologize for saying what I said before. I didn't know that many peeps were affected for this long, and I think it's really normal. Everyone is so upset. It's been stressful the past few months, and you may have noticed I was isolating and not really hanging out with anyone, such canceling last second for everything. I was asked to wait until they posted an announcement about what was happening before speaking more about it. Didn't think it was going to be this long of a wait, so was waiting. Was having a hard time waiting it out though, and feeling very anxious about the amount of money I feel like I owe the community in relation to this merch drop. Like I said a few times, I was told things that weren't true about the project and assured it was all okay for a long time, only to find out the opposite was true. Nothing was being produced after a certain point. I think they mean I don't want anyone to sell hate to Novel, but I'm also bummed and was upset about what happened to so many other people too. I'm once again asking peeps to try and do chargebacks, and if that doesn't work, I'd like to refund you, considering people were putting tons of money into some of the orders. Please screenshot your order and process extensively, and I'll do what I can to get this started and sorted out. That being said, I don't have the kind of money that people used for their orders offhand, so it'll take time for me to get everyone paid out, and ask for your patience. I really do deeply apologize. I'm going to be running my own merch stuff. I've had experience doing this kind of thing in the far past, and will be packing and selling items with my mom for the most part from this point on. I might work with some companies in the future, but I really do apologize. It wasn't my intention at all to happen, and I apologize for not listening to people saying it wasn't a good idea to continue working with them. So yeah, it seems like she's going to try and pay out people that obviously couldn't get their money back or whatever from this, which I think is great. Obviously, she said it might take a little bit of time though, and it seems like going forward, she isn't going to be working with any companies for merch and things like that. It just seems like she's going to be working with her mum, which I think is fair enough, right? I think it's fair enough if people want to run their own thing, and if they have the capacity to do so, you probably should, because you avoid situations like this, right? Then we have Zentreya saying, I started with Novel Horizons a year back, and I was one of the lucky ones to basically get it started from the ground up. Kind of a guinea pig in a way. Don't get me wrong, they were great. At first, we had a solid communication and a bit of butting heads, but overall, it's what you'd expect from a startup company jumping into new territory. Slowly, we started getting the figure designed out as the little figures. I was so freaking happy. I mean, you're an up-and-coming VTuber, and you get to be a figure. That's like insane, right? So they get the first prototype done. It looks awesome. It's not in my hands yet, but it looks cool. A month or so later, I received my final. It's cheap PVC. Its material used is a quick mold, but I mean, they put work there. So I mean, they put work. There's metal magnets. It's proportionate, a glowing base, changeable parts, but it was fragile. It became broken. My brain is telling me this is bad. So I asked them, hey, this isn't PVC, and it came in broken. So yeah, saying, and a little radio silence. They assured me it's PVC. I'm not dumb. It's cheaper mold. It's a cheaper mold. That's a step below. What do I know? I say, okay, reluctantly, I'm still new to this. We begin the mass production, radio silence, then pre-orders. Okay, radio silence. Me and my team ask how the shipping is going. It's a lot of back and forth, and they were getting rude. Orders finally start going out, and we start to getting messages saying their figures came in broken or missing packages. So we grab names and ask them. Radio silence. Then messages, some rude, then radio silence. I was already at this point frustrated, and they are already working others' figures. It took us forever to get these figures out, and we still have more time to process, and they are already making other figures. Me and my team are starting to get frustrated with them. At this point, it's unprofessional how they both were unresponsive and how they responded. My community was frustrated too, but we were trying our best while dealing with an uncooperative team. Finally, orders started getting handled, albeit months later now. Then I get a word that they were prepping another batch of orders to go out. Little did I know, these freaking geniuses decided to leave them in a storage warehouse with no type of AC or cooling. An entire pallet of my figures melted. Yeah, they're melted. And my orders for people who are now 1+ years of not receiving them have to wait longer. I'm so mad at this point. I tell my team, let's do what we can at this point, because we're dealing with a team who are at this point not wanting to work with us anymore and are being unprofessional. So we did our best to clean up their mess, and we had to move on because I cannot do anything. And my company at the time had no idea how to handle the situation. So I was left with a mess I had no idea how to handle. I was the guinea pig, and maybe I had to accept that the test runners get fucked. But jump forwards to now. Last year I decided to get in. Last year I decided, hey, let me get in touch, I guess, because Novel Horizons was doing a really good job all of a sudden with all of these VTubers. I'm assuming they're doing much better now, and maybe they're actually more professional now. So they get all nice and cheery with me, and they say they are ready to do another figure. Okay, so we're doing the art and designs. They bring me to cons, and they want me to pitch ideas of these coin things, which I decided against at the time. That's weird. Okay, so they really wanted to do this coin thing, which they did with Grimmi, of course. It's going all good, whatever. Like, wow, I guess things have changed maybe. I get a message from my team and friends saying, hey, things aren't looking good for that company, and we should halt any more activities. So, of course. So we do. And here we are now, and I've come to learn that there's still dozens of unfulfilled orders that were never getting taken care of despite being told so. And on top of that, rumors of them going onto my figures in the back of the... rumors of them holding onto my figures in the back of the warehouse, potentially even going as far as to, again, rumors behind the scenes from their team, and then some, saying that they wanted to keep some to sell on a website for 2x/3 times the original price. That's crazy. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things to do with this, right? Saying either way, my experience with them was frustration, anger, tossed to the side, used, whatever. I let it go because I felt inexperienced in this sort of thing. I didn't at the time understand what was going on, other than I took at it the value of me starting something up and being the rest test dummy along with Melody at the time. And all these VTubers were signing up. No one wants to be the one potentially cry wolf. So I thought to myself, it is what it is. We'll figure this out, and hopefully they learn from me to help the others and do better. So I guess screw me. I'm sorry to those who never got their orders, or to those who got nothing but radio silence from them. And it also seems like I am always causing something, but this was not expected. I know people are sick of me getting in trouble or finding it. I wish I didn't have to be, but I can't do anything about it other than try to be more mindful in the future when working with other companies and such, which I have. So we're trying to recover what we can from the warehouses, thankfully to contacts. But yeah, that's my story. I'm sure I will probably have missed some other moments, but I'm recalling what I remember the most. Sorry for the trouble, and sorry for being a pain in the ass. Will do my best to see in the future to make sure you guys are all taken care of. So yeah, that's what obviously Zentreya had to say about that. Which yeah, it's terrible. Saying this arises a concern with me because several times this year the Zen figure suddenly was in stock for a brief sale period, and I'm concerned those were unfulfilled orders that they were reselling because the quantity was always super low. I really hope that wasn't the case. If she says, oh, that's interesting, I'll pass it along to my team. So interesting. I see CottonTail as well saying this is really disappointing. No, actually, this fucking sucks. As far as I can tell, Novel spent all the money and never made a single one of my figurine. I'm so upset for you, Fluffers, and I'm currently trying to work with my team to see what I can do. So Fluffers who pre-ordered a figurine, when you dispute your charge with PayPal or your credit card, please show the post about the company bankruptcy. It should increase your chances of getting a refund past the normal window. So yeah, maybe try that out if you were one of the ones that did get affected by it. And of course, as well, Cinder has also been affected by it as well. For me, at least, I've known Cinder, like, the reason that I knew about Novel Horizons in the first place was because of Cinder. It wasn't this figure in particular. It was a different figure that I saw, you know, a while back. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And that's whenever I found out about Novel Horizons myself. But yeah, obviously, there's a update regarding Cinder's demon figure. So following the announcement that Novel Horizons is shutting down, Cinder has shared an update regarding both her upcoming demon figure and the re-release pre-orders. So yeah, this is the the announcement that she had on Discord saying, I'm aware of the situation with Novel Horizons. As you may have heard by now, they've announced that they're going bankrupt and closing down. The ongoing projects on pre-order will not be fulfilled, and they have no money to refund them either. This includes my demon figure and many other creators' figures. Pre-orders for my demon figure originally opened up in 2024. I approached Novel Horizons to reopen pre-orders in 2025 for those who didn't have a chance to get one before. As far as I'm aware, they were already well into production. That unfortunately was not the case. I'm so sorry to all of you who put your trust in me. The demon figures will be delivered. I don't know what to do yet, but I'm trying to figure out any solution I can to make this right. My heart goes out to all the creators and their communities affected by this too. So yeah, obviously she also feels very, very bad for everybody that has been affected by this, because again, it's affected literally every VTuber, right? It's none of these VTubers' faults that this has happened. It seems like, you know, they were very uncommunicative to any of them, as kind of confirmed by Zentreya as well, right? They just didn't really talk to her at all. It was radio silence. So yeah, I mean, that's not good, right? That is not good. And obviously lots of VTubers still being affected by it. But yeah, that is essentially all there is for this situation, though. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.